In a moment of pure, unfiltered honesty that has charmed the nation, Zara Tindall, the late Queen Elizabeth II's eldest granddaughter and one of the most grounded members of the extended royal family, has delivered what might be the most relatable description of marriage ever uttered by anyone with royal blood. Speaking at the recent Beauty Awards in London alongside her husband, former England rugby captain Mike Tindall, Zara was asked the age-old question, "What is the secret to a happy, long-lasting marriage?" Her answer? Three gloriously blunt words. Nothing runs smoothly. Not communication and respect, not shared values and date nights, not some glossy, Instagram-ready mantra. Just, nothing runs smoothly. Ever. And Britain collectively exhaled, laughed, and thought, finally a royal who gets it. After 21 years together, and with their 15th wedding anniversary approaching next summer, Zara didn't feel the need to paint an airbrushed portrait of wedded bliss. Instead, she offered the kind of raw truth that most couples whisper to each other in the kitchen at 11 p.m. while arguing over whose turn it is to unload the dishwasher. She elaborated that marriage is an ongoing work in progress, that you have to accept the chaos, roll with the punches, and, most importantly, never lose the ability to have fun amid the mess. In an era when royal statements are usually vetted by committees and polished to a palace-approved sheen, Zara's candor felt revolutionary. Here was a woman who grew up riding horses at Gatcombe Park, won an Olympic silver medal in eventing, carried the Queen's coffin at her funeral, and yet still stood on a red carpet saying, essentially, yeah, marriage is hard. Things break. Plans fail. We bicker. Deal with it, and laugh while you're doing it. The public reaction was immediate and overwhelming. Social media lit up with couples tagging each other under headlines, writing, "This is the most real thing a royal has ever said," and "Zara Tindall just won the internet." Memes appeared within hours. One particularly popular post showed a screenshot of Zara's quote next to a picture of a wonky wedding cake with the caption, "Expectation versus Zara Tindall's reality." What makes this moment so significant is not just the humor, though the delivery was perfectly deadpan, but what it reveals about how the younger generation of the royal family is choosing to present itself. Zara and Mike have always occupied a unique and enviable position, close enough to the heart of the monarchy to be invited to every major event, yet far enough removed, thanks to Princess Anne's decision not to give her children titles, that they can live remarkably normal lives on their Gloucestershire farm with Mia, Lena, and Lucas. They are royal without being royal, capital R. They attend the big set pieces, coronations, Christmas at Sandringham, Easter at Windsor. But they don't have to smile through endless ribbon cuttings or issue carefully worded statements about global crises. This freedom has allowed them to cultivate something rare in royal circles: authenticity without exile. Compare their path to others in the family. Charles and Diana's marriage became a global tragedy because it was built on duty rather than compatibility, and both parties were forced to maintain the illusion of perfection long after the relationship had crumbled. Princess Margaret's union with Anthony Armstrong-Jones collapsed under infidelity and resentment, hidden behind a stiff upper lip until it simply couldn't be hidden anymore. Even Harry and Meghan, for all their talk of openness, eventually found the institution's constraints unbearable and chose departure over compromise. Zara and Mike, by contrast, have managed to stay inside the tent while still speaking like people who live in the real world. They've found the sweet spot that has eluded so many others. They're part of the family without being consumed by it, and the family seems to need them more than ever. As King Charles pursues his vision of a streamlined monarchy centered on a smaller group of working royals, the broader family's role becomes more important than ever in maintaining public affection. Zara and Mike, along with cousins like Beatrice, Eugenie, and their spouses, provide the human face of an ancient institution. They remind the public that the royals are not just crowns and curtsies. They are parents who nag their kids to do homework, couples who argue about directions, people who spill coffee on themselves on the way to school drop-off just like everyone else. Zara's "Nothing Runs Smoothly" confession lands at a time when the monarchy is navigating perhaps its most delicate period in modern history. Public deference has eroded. Social media amplifies every misstep. Younger generations question the very existence of hereditary privilege. In this environment, mystique alone is no longer enough. People need to feel some emotional connection, some sense that these people are beneath the tiaras and the protocol, not entirely unlike the rest of us. That is precisely what Zara offered. In 3 little words, she humanized not just her own marriage, but the entire institution. She gave permission to her cousins, to the public, to every couple watching, to admit that struggle is normal, that perfection is a myth, and that joy can be found in the imperfect middle. It was also, whether intentional or not, a subtle masterclass in modern royal survival. The old rules, never complain, never explain, served the monarchy well for centuries, but are increasingly incompatible with a culture that demands transparency and relatability. Zara's generation understands this instinctively. William and Catherine share carefully curated family moments and speak openly about mental health. The York sisters post Instagram stories of their children like any other proud mums. And Zara? Zara just tells the truth and lets the chips fall. The beauty of her approach is that it doesn't feel calculated. There's no sense that she's rebranding the monarchy or chasing relevance. She and Mike simply are who they are, a sporty, outdoorsy, banter-loving couple who happened to meet in a Sydney bar during the 2003 Rugby World Cup and build a life that works for them. They show up when family duty calls, lend their warmth to big occasions, and then go home to their chickens and their chaotic, fun, very normal existence. As they approach their crystal anniversary next year, it's worth reflecting on what they represent. In a family that has seen more than its share of marital drama, they're the quiet success story, not because their life is perfect. Zara just told us it very much isn't, but because they've figured out how to be happy within the peculiar constraints of royal adjacency. Nothing runs smoothly. It's not poetic. It's not profound in the traditional sense. But in its very ordinariness lies its power. After decades of watching royals present flawless facades that later shattered spectacularly, the public is ready for something more honest. Zara Tindall just gave it to them, with a smile, a shrug, and the best possible reminder that even in palaces and country mansions, marriage is still marriage, and sometimes, the most royal thing you can do is admit you're human. Hit like if this video opened your eyes, subscribe for more exposes, and comment your thoughts below.